Oh, welcome to Taste Exchange. And how should we start it? Do I need to say welcome to Taste Exchange?
I don't know. You just said it, so if we like it, we can use it.
That's true.
So I think that works.
Okay.
So this is our first episode. So this one's extra special. But I thought we also might want to kind of share with you guys like how this came about.
Yep.
And kind of the inception of the idea. And you wanna start tell a story?
I sure can.
Okay.
So we were on a trip to Charleston, and we were just kind of bouncing around ideas. And I love eating all kinds of food, but I also love talking to people and having more in-depth conversations. I'm like, man, it would be so cool because we've had so many cool conversations before. I'm like, man, I wish we could film that. Wait, I wish we could film us like having dinner. Wait.
And then it was just kind of like this aha moment was like we could actually go to restaurants and collect the stories, and then from the stories also share our affinity for like storytelling and with food and connecting that to people and kind of what we both think about as it relates to like purpose for life and like the reason why we do the things we do and what's important to us. And
just great lessons you can learn from talking to people, seeing how their experiences have shaped them. And then I think another big reason for this was like, wow, restaurants have been hit so hard this year. How can we do something to support and celebrate them?
Yeah, and I think that's like one of the key components of this as well, is that making sure that we could kind of reach out to the communities and restaurants, specifically like here in Charlotte, that have really been hit hard. And then also, I think one of the things that's missing too is like the story, the connection, the time about how these restaurants came to be, and then ultimately these restaurants and the owners decide to share their love of their food with us, with people that are coming in, our patrons. So we wanted to make sure that we could kind of capture that story in the essence of who these people are and what makes them special, and then also share that with people as well.
Share it with you.
Yeah.
Okay.
We've both been looking forward to like having something like this that we could work together on,
Yep.
and kind of being in a space to be able to create something together, and also something that really connects to what we both find meaning in life and the reason for life.
Yeah.
And it's people. And ultimately, the connections we make with people are the most important things that we would do in this world, right?
100%.
And so while we get to share this with you guys, we also get to share this experience together, and that's what makes this show so special.
Yeah, it's cool. Yeah, we get to spend more time in our friendship doing stuff that we love, but we're also meeting people, helping them tell their stories. Like every single person, I think one of the things that I hope you guys take away is that every single person has a story. We happen to be highlighting, chefs and creators here in Charlotte, but every person has a story if you take the time to ask the questions and, find out what that might be. Both doing things that we're passionate about. So like that shared alignment is really cool and really special for me.
Yeah, I agree. I think that that's an important thing too, because then the success of the thing that you're doing is that much greater because you are kind of working from a common ground, and I think that's important. Yeah, so
for sure. And I think if you kind of like zoom out on that macro level, it's not to say you have to work on projects or like be in business with your friends. I think the lesson is more like it is important who you are working with. Do you enjoy working with that person? You don't have to be best friends. You don't have to spend all the time together. Like obviously, like we don't spend all our time together, but I think just the people that you are spending 40 plus hours a week with are important.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. And also like it's when you're in that space, I think you create an opportunity to be more in flow. And when you're in flow, everything that you do, it's just it has a sort of ease with it, right? And there isn't all this friction involved in the process, and then what you get out of it is just that much greater. Yeah.
This guy always nailing it.
Anything else? Anything else we should talk about?
Anything else you want to talk about?
Let me think. Let's see. I think one of the things that we have to keep in mind when people are opening up restaurants, especially the local restaurants to us as well, is that these are people who want to share what they love with you. They've decided that they're going to share their love of their food, the food from their families, from their background. They're going to share it with us. And I think it's important that a lot of us understand that that's what it's about. And so I think that there's this perception that it's about a restaurant and a business just trying to have a business. But in reality, these are people who have decided that they want to share something, that they want to connect, right? And their food and their food journeys are the ways in which they can connect with us. And it's I think vital and important for a lot of us to understand that, because then we have the power to choose like how we're going to, spend our money, right? And so a lot of times I think some of the local restaurants and the restaurants that are in our areas are hurt by some of the larger chains because people don't really understand, or they haven't taken the time to understand the stories of who the people are. And that's kind of what we're looking to do, is to help you understand that these are people and they have incredible stories just like you do. And within that, then they've also decided to share this cuisine with you. And so we want to make sure that we're illuminating that in a way that's more connected.
Yes, there's so much intentionality behind it, especially with some of the folks that we sit down and talk to. And not to say that there's not intentionality behind other people, but I think there's something special behind someone who's doing something that has a flair of their own. It's not coming from a playbook that you can get in any city. It's funny because like sometimes I love that about Starbucks, where you can like walk into a Starbucks and you're like, well, I can get the same thing anywhere I am. Yeah. But what I love even more is going to a city and finding a local restaurant and like, oh my gosh, I can't find this food, this menu anywhere else in the world. Right. This person is sharing something so unique. Yeah. I mean, that's really cool too.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that's our goal, just to make sure that we're illuminating that in a way to basically inspire all of you, that when you're watching this, to go off and find the restaurants that are in your area, go off and explore and actually talk to the people who own them, to find out their stories and learn more about them. Don't just consume their food, but try and connect with their story as well, because that's also an important part of this journey.
And not just the owner. It could be, someone who's behind the bar, could be the waitress. I mean, we've had so many great conversations with people who work at these restaurants and why it's so important to them. And you'll hear in some of the episodes, it's not just another job. Like, this is their job, and this is what they're passionate about.
Yeah, I think that, and that's just true. Like when you're connected with a theme, with an idea, right? When you're connected there at that level, it's not work. It's not. It's your family. It's the thing that you're bound to, and then everything that you do within the framework of that is just that much better. So, yeah.
It is, yeah. Living in the passion of life, or finding the passion of life and living in that.
Yeah, agreed.